At present, the Middle East is witnessing a period of intense geopolitical turbulence. A war has broken out between Iran and Israel, with the United States intervening as an unwelcome mediator under the guise of facilitating peace talks. Qatar has been inadvertently caught in the crossfire after an Iranian attack on a US airbase stationed in the country. Amid these tensions, the United States has announced the possibility of nuclear talks with Iran next week. Originally planned to take place in Oman, these talks were delayed after Israel launched an attack on Iran. But the question arises that in the current circumstances, why is the US, a strong supporter of Israel, willing to hold talks with Iran? Another question arises, is there any possibility of peace arrangements emerging from these talks? In today's episode, we will try to find answers to some such questions. Iran's nuclear program has always been a point of contention for Israel, the United States, and several other countries. Both Israel and the US have exerted significant pressure on Iran to halt its nuclear ambitions. The recent conflict is a testament to these long-standing tensions. However, despite this opposition, Iran has refused to halt its nuclear program, considering it a violation of its sovereignty. Iran insists that its nuclear activities are entirely peaceful, and it sees no reason to abandon its nuclear aspirations. Recently, Iran has stressed that it will not give up its nuclear program, with the Iranian parliament fast-tracking a proposal that could effectively halt Iran's cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. Note that the International Atomic Energy Agency, a UN-mandated body, has been overseeing Iran's nuclear activity for years. Recently, the IAEA found that Iran has failed to meet its non-proliferation obligations for the first time in 20 years. The resolution passed by the Board of Governors of the International Atomic Energy Agency is in danger of eventually being sent before the United Nations Security Council. Despite these findings, Iran continues to insist that its nuclear activities are peaceful and it has no intention of developing or acquiring nuclear weapons. In 2015, Iran signed a historic agreement with 6 world powers. Under the agreement, Iran agreed to limit its nuclear activities and provide the IAEA with greater access in exchange for relief from international sanctions. Regarding the potential meeting between the US and Iran, the US believes that it has effectively destroyed Iran's nuclear program and that Iran will no longer be able to develop nuclear weapons. However, Iran has dismissed this claim, stating that it relocated its enriched uranium stockpile before the US attacks. Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghei confirmed that the US B-2 bombers caused significant damage using the bunker buster bombs. In this context, it is difficult to ascertain the true significance of the US-Iran talks. Historically, the US has a history of acting as a mediator in conflicts between two nations, and this may be another instance where, while attacking Iran's nuclear centers in support of Israel, it is also exploring the possibility of reaching a peace agreement with Iran. In this complex and contradictory circumstances, it is hard to predict the outcome of such talks. Moreover, Iran has not yet confirmed its participation in the proposed meeting, leaving uncertainty about whether it will take place or be postponed again. International media are speculating about the possible outcomes of these talks. While the future of the discussions is uncertain, their impact on peace and stability in Iran and the broader Middle East region is likely to be significant. Recently, US President Donald Trump has called on the court to cancel or pardon Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu from the ongoing trial. Netanyahu has been facing a corruption trial for quite some time. The trial, which began in May 2020, has been delayed multiple times due to the war in Gaza. Netanyahu and his wife have been accused of accepting luxury gifts over $2.6 billion from billionaires in exchange for political favors. However, the Israeli Prime Minister has denied all the allegations. Recently, the Vietnamese government announced that it would abolish the death penalty for 8 criminal offenses in the country. These include crimes like embezzlement, attempts to overthrow the government, and damaging the country's infrastructure. The maximum punishment for these crimes will now be life imprisonment. According to the official Vietnam news agency, the country's National Assembly unanimously passed amendments to the criminal code. It's worth noting that under this amendment, anyone sentenced to death before July 1 but not yet executed will have their sentence commuted to life imprisonment. Recently, Ukrainian President Zelensky signed an agreement with the European Council to establish a special tribunal to prosecute top Russian officials. Zelensky has accused Russian President Vladimir Putin of being a war criminal for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Notably, Putin is already facing an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court in The Hague for alleged war crimes, including the illegal deportation of children from Ukraine. In February 2022, Russia launched a large-scale invasion of Ukraine. So viewers, that was all for today's discussion. Let's note today's question. The effort to halt Iran's nuclear program demonstrates the insecurity of the US and Israel towards Iran. Discuss this statement with reasoned arguments.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.